So I guess we'll go ahead and get started. Welcome to the new age. Um, so since it's not our typical way of meeting, I thought I would just do it a little different this time. They wanted us to go ahead and have these meetings and then prepare the report that normally gets submitted to the council, and then we're going to send it to the city manager's office. He's going to compile them all together and send it to the council. So we won't be doing a presentation or anything like that, like we normally do. So I figure since we're doing that, we'll just go over the report, which does include a lot of the updates that I normally do anyway, and then see what else you guys want to talk about. Is that okay with everybody?
Okay.
Okay. So I guess just for the record, we'll point out that I'll just, I guess, kind of call roll. Josh Mayfield is here on the line.
Yep.
Gloria Smith is on the line.
Yes.
Aaron Boatwright is here.
Yep.
And Wes Epperson is here. And Wes, you're muted, so in case you're saying anything to us, just so you know. And also in attendance for staff is myself, Tim Gramling, Katie Warner-Gonzalez, the city engineer, and Rick Arroyo, the assistant public works director. So, okay, now we can hear you, Wes. So,
sorry.
That's okay. So just to go over the report, I hope everybody got the email that had the report in it. If not, I can send it to you when we're done here. So just this is for the April 22nd, 2020. We're going to talk about in the report is the oversight, what the oversight committee is, purpose of the committee. You all know those things. The program status, the revenue status, capital project status of for April of 2020, some of the sales tax expense status, an update for a project we're talking about with the license surcharge funds, and then just a summary of what's for this report. So just listed all the people that were here for the committee, and you all know what the purpose of it is, for monitor the implementation of the plan, monitor the progress, and report to council. Moving on to the program status. This is a little different than what it has been, since this is our first meeting under the new sales tax that was voted in back in August of 2017. It actually started January of this year. So it's now a perpetual program to address the street improvements and maintenance. It also capital improvement project, capital equipment specifically related to street maintenance and snow removal functions, as well as appropriate operating expenses, are being implemented as per the program passed by the citizens in August 2017. And program revenues have matched expenses. Okay, then the next thing I want to talk about is revenue status. Spend a little bit of time on this. So back in the meeting in October of 2019, we talked about what the projected revenue was going to be for 2019-2020, which is the current budget year right now. The budget year runs from July 1st through June 30th. So originally at the beginning of this year, we projected an $8.3 million revenue. That has significantly changed now due to this COVID-19 virus, the impact on the budget. Now we're assuming a $1.35 million loss of revenue due to a lot of these businesses being closed. So now we're projecting the revenue for this current budget year to be $6.96 million. Also, right now, to date anyway, the revenue that's been collected is $6.3 million. So we only have about $0.6 or $0.7 million that we think we'll collect for the remainder of this budget year. And I'll talk more about that in a minute. And then we also think this is going to have an impact on next budget year starting in July. So originally we had projected the revenue for the next budget year, 2020-2021, to be about $8.4 million. And now we project that to be about a little over $8 million. So about a $422,000 less revenue at this time. So that's obviously going to have an impact on a lot of the projects that we do. And so we've taken a look at that for the current budget year, and with the $1.35 million less projection revenue, obviously is a pretty significant impact to this budget year. So as an effect, our normal overlay project that we bid out or would have already bid out by this time is being delayed, and we're reducing it by about $500,000, and we're not going to start it until after July 1st. There's also a couple other things, projects that we're going to fund or were funded in this budget year, such as one was the 40 Highway Complete Streets project. That funding is going to be moved to the next budget year. And then Truman Connected was a project that we talked about before too. The first part of the funding for the design was in the current budget year, and we're moving to the next budget year as well. And then we were going to do the pavement management update, which was where we hire the company to go and do an assessment of all the city streets to give us a pavement condition indexes, which is how we base our maintenance and improvement program on. It was due for an update since we did the last one a little over 3 years ago. We're going to have to delay that into next budget year as well, and then reassess after we kind of see what the actual effects of these of this is going to be. And then by moving these things into next budget year, that means that a lot of the things that we were planning on doing next year is going to also be bumped. So it's kind of a domino effect as we go down the line. So there was a sidewalk project on Hardy that was funded next year is now going to be moved to the year after. We were going to put some of the funding from the street sales tax into the Square Streetscape project. That was in next year. That's going to be moved back a year as well. And then the overlay and the asphalt overlay and the pavement maintenance contracts that we do every year will probably be reduced as well, about another $500,000. So, and they will also probably be delayed to start after July of next year. So right now, that's what we think the impacts are going to be, and then we're going to have to continue to monitor that and adjust as we see fit. Hopefully, maybe the revenue won't be lost as bad as what we project, but we just wanted to make sure we're conservative with that so that we're ready in case that it is, and we manage our money accordingly. Okay, moving on to the capital project status update for April 2020. So this is everything, kind of an update since our last meeting in October. The projects that have been completed since then are the Kendall Drive Access Management Project. That was completed back in November. The 2019 intersection improvements. We did 3 intersections this year, 39th and Blue Ridge, 39th and Chrysler and 23rd Street. Those were completed in October, November. They were actually added to the overlay contract and done as part of that, but they were done back in the late fall, early winter. We also completed a concrete street repair project on South Thornbird Avenue. That was completed in December. And then the other project that was completed was we bought some traffic signal equipment, upgrade about 40 signals throughout the city. And we purchased the equipment with the street sales tax, but we actually did the installation of those things with our in-house crews from IPL, and they completed that just this month. So we're done with that. So moving on to the projects under construction. Right now, we only have 2 really. The Sidewalks to Schools project, where we did sidewalks for 3 Trails Elementary School along 32nd Street and for Cordy School along East 25th Terrace. That project was actually done some time ago, but we were just finishing up some of the sodding and that type of thing, seeding and those kind of things. Just now finishing those up. That's really pretty much done. And then the other project that we're putting funding toward for some of the enhancement is the US 24 bridge over Best Truman Parkway near the Truman Library. That's a MoDOT project. We are funding some of the enhancements. That project has been going well. I believe last I heard it's a bit ahead of schedule. So we'll keep our fingers crossed there, but it should be done this summer. Am I still right on that one, Katie?
Yes, they have 5 weeks until they have to be completed. So
okay, right. Okay, moving on to the planned projects. Unless anybody has any questions on what I've talked about so far.
Nope, we're good.
Okay. So the projects that we're still working on getting ready to go, as our mentioned already our 2020 overlay that's coming. It'll be bid out. We'll probably go ahead and bid that out early next month, but the idea will be to take it to the council to award the contract right after July the 1st, so the first meeting in July, so that we can get that one going. And then it's kind of a new program, but it's kind of related to the overlay. It's called our pavement maintenance program, where we're going to do about close to 26 miles of crack sealing and filling, and 17.5 lane miles of what we call surface seals. And again, we're going to bid that out here this next month and try to award that contract just after July the 1st as well. So what we're doing there is we're on our overlay, instead of doing everything 2-inch mill and overlay like we've done in the past, where it was a one size fits all. Now we're doing the 2-inch mill and overlay more for arterial and collector, some of our main streets that get the most traffic. And then the pavement maintenance program will be directed on some of those lower level streets or streets that maybe aren't as in bad a condition, where we can do some, it'll be more maintenance type work, where we're filling cracks and joints and then doing some micro seals that kind of help extend the life of the pavement and cost us quite a bit less than doing a full mill and overlay. So it's kind of a way of getting more bang for our buck with the money that we have. So next project is US 24 Highway Cost Share Phase 1. This project was at one time was originally the US 24 Complete Streets project that we were going to do. We had a federal grant to do. Originally, it was just to do it on one side of 24 Highway on the south side, basically from 291 to Lee Summit Road. We did a partnership with MoDOT and combined that money and some other money from some other grants together with MoDOT money, and we expanded this project into a cost share project that's going to go from on both sides of 24. It's going to do a lot of the complete streets types improvements that we were going to do originally anyway, but it's also going to do it on both sides of the highway from 291 all the way to River. And it's going to also convert this from a 4-lane into a 5-lane corridor, improve intersections and access management. So it's going to be quite a bit more of a project than what we were originally doing. And it's really not going to cost the city any more than what we originally were going to spend anyway on that. So quite a good deal for us. And it's going to make a really big difference on that corridor. We're handling the design part of it right now. We entered into a contract with Burns and McDonnell. The design been underway for a few weeks now. The project will be bid out and be constructed by MoDOT, so we won't be handling that part of it. And we think that right now they're planning on bidding that project out in December of 2021. So the construction will probably more likely not get started until spring of 22. Okay, US 40 Highway Complete Streets project. I mentioned that one earlier. That one's pretty far along in design. I put 80% in the report, and I think we're about there on that. As I said, the funding was originally for the construction of it was supposed to be in this budget year, but pushing it back to next year. So we expect that project to be bid out in the fall of 2020. Okay, in the next page on the last two projects that were underway, we were doing design on was the Scott Avenue Bridge. It was the bridge that had a washout on it back in June of 2018. We've been doing a design on that. It was about 90% complete, but due to some funding restrictions, we had to put a hold on that project. And similarly, the next project, the Trails to Vale, that's another Sidewalks to Parks project. We were also doing in-house design on that one, and because of some funding restrictions, we had to put that one on hold as well. We hope to circle back on both of those and maybe do those under some other programs that we have with the deferred maintenance that we talked about at that special meeting that we had back in December. There's a sidewalk component of the deferred maintenance, and there's also a bridge component of that. So we're going to look and see if we can get both of those projects done under those programs. Okay, and then as far as the other street sales tax items, purchasing capital equipment, also as part of the deferred maintenance program that was approved by the council back in December, we're purchasing 11 trucks to replace some old worn out trucks for our snow plows and salt spreaders. And we hope to have those in place ready to go before the next winter. They've actually been put on order, so that shouldn't have a problem getting those, unless I don't know how this is going to affect manufacturing of those types of things. So hopefully it won't, but we'll keep our fingers crossed there. And then we also had some salt brine generating equipment that we were buying through our deferred maintenance program as well. That'll also hope to have in place prior to next winter. And then some other operating costs for street maintenance, such as some positions that we fund, 3 maintenance positions, and some material costs such as replenishing our salt supply for the next winter, which we'll only have to buy maybe a little over half of what we had to this past year. We didn't use everything, so that helps save us a little money going into next year. And another thing that we kind of do as part of the operating budget of the street sales tax is that pavement management update, which I talked about before, that's actually going to be delayed into next year. So we'll be doing that next year as well. Okay, that brings me to the license surcharge project update. If you remember, back in September of 2018, this committee took over the oversight of the license surcharge. And then right after that, the city council put a moratorium based on the recommendation from this council on collecting the fees that we used to charge for that for development. But at the time we did that, that fund actually had a pretty hefty balance of about 750,000, something in that neighborhood. It was just kind of sitting there to be used on a project. I mean, so a lot of the projects that we would normally do for development or something like that would be, 750,000 wouldn't get you much of a project. But recently the city Katie identified a very good candidate for this. I think we talked about that at our special meeting back in December. But we have a development that's going on. It's called the Grace Subdivision Luxury Apartments. It's located at Valley View Parkway and Little Blue Parkway. They've actually started some of the construction out there now, but part of their development with the Valley View Parkway road that goes alongside of their development, they were required to upgrade that and extend the roadway. And then they were going to connect it down to Valley View Road on down to the south and east of their development. But due to the fact that their project was their property only went so far, they could only improve the street to a certain point, which was going to leave a bit of a gap between where they were going to end their development project and on east of there where the street goes to the Blue Springs city limits. We were going to have a really small gap of a little narrow 2-lane street over the creek there, over the stream. And so what we decided is that if we could partner with this developer to go ahead and just complete that street all the way with the same section, a full, is it a 3-lane, Katie? 3-lane section through there with 3?
Yes.
Yeah. A full 3-lane section with curb and gutter sidewalks on both sides, all the way across the stream and connect it to the roadway there on Blue Springs and match that, how that roadway is there, that would be a much serve the public much better. And we thought we could, and that particular roadway or the use of the money to do that would actually fit the criteria on what the license surcharge money is supposed to be used for. And we felt like we could get that project done within that money that we have available. So it would be a very good use of that money that's just sitting there right now, not being used for anything. So we're currently right now negotiating with the developer on an agreement on how to get that done for them to basically do the design and construction, and then the city would pay them for those additional expenses or above and beyond what they were going to do normally. So I wanted to add that into this report, and then I kind of gave you a little map there so you can kind of see where we're talking about and what the improvement looks like there. So just wanted to give an update on that. So any questions about any of that or any of the other projects? Okie doke. So that just leaves the summary of the report then. We've completed the work. It is consistent with the promised program. The projects and expenditures of the new street sales tax are being planned and implemented, and that the categories that the projects and expenditures will be completed under include the following, which is the asphalt overlay, pavement maintenance, bridge improvements and maintenance, intersection improvements, sidewalk connectivity, curb and gutter maintenance, using the street sales tax as a local match for federal grant projects, as we've done in the past, and then capital equipment purchases and street maintenance operating for specifically for maintenance on city streets. So that concludes the report then. So any discussion from anyone on anything or any questions?
Nope. Good job, Tim. I know you're working under some reduced circumstances.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, I think our staff has been, most of the engineering staff has been working from home. A lot of our inspectors up here in the office have been working from home or staying out in the field. Katie and Rick have been working from home most of the time. So a lot of our street maintenance crews, facility maintenance people, and our fleet mechanics have pretty much been on the job nonstop. So they really haven't altered too much, except for some of the CDC guideline stuff, like doing a lot of cleaning and social distancing and all that kind of stuff. So it's definitely been an interesting time, but the reports that I'm getting, oh, definitely. The reports I'm getting about our staff working from home, even I haven't seen any of them, don't know what they're doing, but apparently they're getting quite a bit of things done. So they're to be commended for doing that. So, and I appreciate your all's time under these circumstances, and glad we were all able to get logged on and listen. So anything else? Thank you all.
I was going to ask about if we had confirmation on the trucks we were going to buy, but you said they were going to be delivered. So
yeah, I don't know. Rick, have you heard anything?
So Viking is the ones that are going to outfit those trucks. They're actually telling us probably October, early October still is what we're anticipating. It'll be close. They haven't really been able to tell us, there's going to be any significant delays due to this. My suspicion would be that there would be, and I think they anticipate some, but we're still hoping to get those before October, or at least early October, so we have time to outfit them with the AVL system. So the plan is still to have it before next season, but we'll just have to see whether or not that occurs.
Good luck.
Yeah.
So Tim, when will our next meeting be? Is it 6 months from now?
That was actually one of the things I was going to talk about at our regular meeting. I didn't know if we wanted to talk about it here or not, but we're actually supposed to meet quarterly.
Mm-hmm.
So I was wanting to throw out the idea of going ahead and maybe setting up regular meetings on the quarter. The last meeting, our original meeting was supposed to be in March. So what I was looking at originally was every March, June, September, and December. And I think we've typically had it about the third Thursday of the month. So I thought that might be a good way to, if we just go ahead and have a preset meeting every quarter, on those particular months on the third Thursday of the month, and everybody knows ahead of time when the meetings are, and we don't have to schedule it. We just can have a
3,
meeting.
6,
I was going
9,
to throw
and
that
12. September.
Yeah, I was going to see if you guys were okay with starting to do that.
It's fine.
Yep. Third Thursday, third Wednesday.
Or whichever, what works better for you all, Wednesday or Thursday?
Yeah, no, Wednesday. Wednesday's fine for me.
I have meetings on some Thursdays.
If
Wednesday
I
okay with
could
you, John?
add,
I
the
think so.
third Wednesday of December is 2 days before Christmas.
Of course it is.
It's the 16th. It's the 16th.
Oh, it is?
16th of September, 16th of December. If I'm looking in the right year, God.
At
Yeah, but I'm sure
Okay.
some years.
Sorry.
There'll probably be some years where it will be close to that. So.
Okay, June 17th, September 16th, December 16th. That's the way my calendar looks. Is that good with you all?
Let's see, June 17th. Yeah, I think you're right. So June 17th will be the next meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Are we? And do you think we'll be in person, or we'll be doing this for a while?
I think June remains to be seen at this point.
Okay.
So I would be prepared to do another one of these, but hope for the best.
Okay. 5 o'clock on the 17th of June. Planning on a Zoom meeting, maybe.
Well, do we want to keep them at 6? I'm thinking long term. Once we do go back to normal, I guess if we do a virtual meeting, we can do them at 5, but once we go back to the normal, we probably need to make them at 6 because once people are back to work or whatever, they'll kind of need that extra time to make it to the meeting. So we'll say right now, we'll say the 5th, or the June one will be at 5, but the normal time will be at 6 once we go back to normal. Is that okay?
Okay.
Works for me.
Yep. Okay.
Hey, Tim?
Yes.
Yeah, this is Wes. I do have a comment here I want to share with you, and that's on this Scott Avenue Bridge. I know you said that's been held up for a while, but you know that bridge has been out now for a couple of years, and then by the time you get it done, you'll be 3 years probably into getting that repaired.
Right.
And I know that's not a luxury part of town, but you know, it has been a inconvenience for those people that live over there. And so if there's any way that the city can find a way to keep that project going, I would encourage that. I think those people, you know, they've been waiting on that bridge for a long time.
Yeah. They've actually been pretty good about, I mean, we haven't heard a tremendous number of complaints, and they would have every right to, for sure. So,
yeah, it's not like a highly traveled roadway. I understand that, but at the same time, you know, it's been 2 years or better. So
right.
if there's a way to find some funding for that, you know, I would think it would be fair.
Yeah, that's we wanted to put the way we could do it the quickest would be to include it in our deferred maintenance program for bridges. And I think we're supposed to be, we had a consultant looking at an assessment of all the bridges in the city, and we were going to look and see what that looked like at their initial assessment and see where this bridge would fit in. Katie, I don't know if you can give any updates on that. We're supposed to get a report like next month, aren't we, on that one?
Yeah, they have actually just sent us a preliminary analysis for our initial review, and our schedule has them getting the entire report completed by June. We think it might come in a little sooner though, so we're very excited.
So I
Okay,
think once we
thank
get
you.
that, once we get that, we can definitely see where we can fit that in, or see if we can fit it in as one of the first ones that we do as part of that program. Yeah, we're kind of worried about the same thing by as long as it's been, we know that one needs to be done, needs to be a priority. Appreciate that, Wes.
Okay, thanks for taking that into consideration.
Sure thing.
Tim, are we officially, is it May 1 with Independence, or what's the date? I've heard so many things. Our official shutdown.
The last one from the mayor was May the 15th.
Oh, May 15th. Okay.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. All righty. There's nothing else, then thank you for attending.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. Good
Thanks.
luck. Bye-bye.
Thank you. See you later. See y'all later.